Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to walk through the steps of logging into your Math Navigator account, and we'll also take a look at what it looks like to study in Math Navigator. So the first step is to get to the Gooru webpage. Now it's important that you use the website that was given to you by your teacher. It probably starts with TL. It's also possible that your teacher has linked this for you on Google Classroom or Canvas or another site that you're using, but you want to make sure that you're using your school or district special website from your teacher. So once you go to that website, you'll be asked to type in your school email address. So let's do that. Click the green Submit button. Then let's click the blue Sign In with Google button. You might be asked to type in your email address one more time, so do that, and please make sure it's your school email address. And then type in your password. And press the blue Next button. So this will bring you to your main page. This is your study page, and it's going to show you the classrooms that you are a part of. So I'm a part of two classrooms, these two right here, but you're probably only going to see one. It's probably going to have a kangaroo on it, and most likely it'll say your teacher's name at the top. So this is the class I'm going to be working with today. So the very first time you log into Navigator, you can click anywhere on this little square, which is what we call the class card. So I'm going to click on the kangaroo part of the class card. And I'm brought to this page called Your Proficiency Profile. So it tells me I'm in grade 7, and it gives me a summary of what I already know. So along the bottom here, on the x-axis of this graph, are the different topics in math, all the way from kindergarten to high school. So I can see with this thick white line everything that I've already learned, everything that I already know. The green line shows me where I need to be in order to be at grade level for 7th grade. So it looks like in some of those topics, I've already learned everything I need to know. So for operations and algebraic thinking, I can see that my white line, my sky line, is higher than this grade level line, so I'm all set for operations. I can see for geometry, my white line or my sky line is right here, but the grade 7 line is all the way up here, so I have quite a bit to learn in geometry. So when you see this screen, wait for the text to fill in and then click the blue Select Destination button. Then there's a little bit more information, mostly about what we just talked about. Read it and then click the blue Show Route button. And then the last button to click is Start Studying. So when you click that, it will bring you to your very first lesson. And you can just click the green Continue button to get started. What I want to show you though is what it'll look like every time you log in after that. So the screen we just saw only comes up the first time you log in. So I'm going to close out. I'm going to go back to my classroom page, and I'm going to click on my classroom card again. So I have a couple of options here. I can click on the kangaroo, and that will bring me back to wherever I left off. So if I was studying something or working on a little quiz but didn't finish it, clicking on the kangaroo will bring me right back to where I left off. If I want to see everything that I have available to me, I can click on this icon here, which is called Learning Journey. So I'm going to do that just so we can see what it looks like. So this shows me everything that I have to learn. Now you might have more milestones than I do, or you might just have one like I do. It really just depends what grade you're in and what topics you have to work on. So to see what I have to work on, I'm going to click on this bar that says Milestone 1. And if you have more than one milestone, please start at milestone 1. We want you to work in order here. It's the best way to find success and to make sure you're really learning all of these topics. So I'm going to click on this bar, and I can see all these topics that I have to work on. Okay, so that's a pretty fair amount, but I think I can do it. And remember, we looked at all those geometry topics I have to work on in order to gain that 7th grade proficiency or grade level proficiency. Here they are. And I have a bunch of other topics too, like ratios, the number system. So all of these bars are one lesson. So to get started, I can just click and I can see that the lesson has 2 parts. The first part is a collection of resources. It might be videos, it might be practice problems, some other interactive site, but it's a way for me to get a first look at the material. The second part of every lesson is called a CFU, or a check for understanding. Now this is where we need to show that we understand the material. Our goal is to get 80% or better. If we get 80% or better on a CFU, that means we really understand the material and we have mastered it. And we'll earn a little block on that graph that we looked at. Our skyline will increase and we'll get a little bit closer to being at grade level. So our goal is going to be to always shoot to master these topics or to score 80% or better. So to get started, I am just going to click the blue play button, and remember this is going to be a collection of resources. So this is my chance to practice with this material, which is solving problems using scale drawings. I'm going to click the green continue button, but I get a preview here of what's coming up. So I have 2 resources to look at and a couple of practice questions. So let's take a look. So my first resource is a video. I can click to play it. When I'm done watching it, I can click the next button. I can also leave some feedback. So if I really liked the video or thought it was interesting, I can say that, 5 stars. If I thought it was kind of easy to understand, but not super easy to understand, I can leave that rating. And I can give it an overall reaction. You don't have to do this. It's just optional. When you're ready to move to the next resource, click the green next button down in the corner. Okay, so my next resource here is a practice problem that is being solved out for me. So I'm going to watch this, and then when I'm ready to move on, I can click the green next button again. I'm going to choose not to leave feedback this time. Now I can see a couple of practice problems, so I am going to think really hard and pick the best answer for both of my practice problems. And when I'm ready to see how I did on this practice, I can click this green usage report button. It's always down in the right-hand corner. So I can see I spent 1 minute and 8 seconds on that collection. I should probably have spent a little bit more time because I can see I got that first practice question wrong, and it looks like I got the second practice question wrong. So that's not great. But if I feel confident and I want to move on anyway and I want to take that CFU, that check for understanding, I just need to click the green next button. Okay, so let's try. Again, I've got this green continue button. I can see my preview here. I have 5 questions. And remember, my goal is to get 80% or better to show that I really understand this material. So let's take a look. Again, I'm going to try my very hardest here, and I hope you spend more time thinking about your answers than I am. Okay, and so I'm clicking my answer, and then I'm clicking the green next button. If I want to go back, I can click this previous button, and that'll take me back to the last question. I can also click on the question name down at the bottom and select any of the other questions I was looking at, and it'll take me right back. So if I want to go look at question 2 again, I can do that. And I want to change my answer. Then I can keep moving forward. And now I'm ready to submit my answers. Now, once you submit, you can't undo it. So it's going to ask you, are you sure? So if I think, yes, I am sure, I think my answers are right, let's do this, I'm going to click this blue Submit All button. If I want to take a look at my answers one more time and double check, I can click Cancel and it'll bring me right back. See, so I can check my answers one more time. But I'm confident. I think I did pretty well, so I'm going to click this blue Submit All button. So it turns out I didn't do super well. I probably should have spent more time. I can see I spent 1 minute and 2 seconds here. I did not meet my goal of 80%. I can take a look at the answer choices I picked. I can see how much time I spent on those questions. Again, 3 seconds isn't very long, so I probably should have spent more time. If I feel like I want to move on and I want to move on to the next lesson, I can click this blue next button. Sorry, the green next button. But what I want to do is I want to show you what this looks like now, way back in the beginning. So let's come back to our classroom card and let's click on it now. Let's click on that Learning Journey tab one more time. So here, I can keep track not only of all the lessons I have to work on, but also the scores and the time spent on the things I have worked on already. So remember, I spent 1 minute and 8 seconds on those resources, and I got a 0% on my check for understanding. You can retry this at any time. So if you want to move on to the next lesson, just click on it and get started. If you want to take the quiz or the check for understanding one more time, just click on the play button and it'll take you right back and you can give it another shot. You can also see the answers that you picked by clicking on the score. It'll give you an assessment report just like we saw, and it shows you which answers you picked and which answers you got right. Once you do better, and if you get an 80% or better, the score will be green, and you'll gain a bar in your skyline. We'll build up that thick white line from our graph up to the green line that shows our grade level. And remember that this is visible at any time. You can check when you click on the My Proficiency tab. So you're probably going to spend most of your time on this Learning Journey tab, and you get there either by clicking on the picture, which takes you right to where you left off, or if you want to look at everything and select from a list, you can just click on this Learning Journey icon. So if you have any questions, please ask your teacher, and if they need more help, they can reach out to Gooru. Happy studying!